Since I got the M1 MacBook Pro, I've been using it for my everyday tasks, and I thought I should share my initial impressions, what I actually use this computer for, and if you should spend your money to get it or to get a MacBook Air or some Windows alternative. Now, spoiler alert, I absolutely love this laptop. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, it's been about 9 months since I got this computer, and during that time I've used it for various activities, which quickly led to it becoming my daily driver and basically forcing my Asus Zephyrus into early retirement. Using this laptop has been a truly amazing experience, and one of the things that really struck me was the battery life. So for the past 9 months I've been using it every day, and I'm just shocked at how little I really needed to charge this laptop. When I put it away at the end of the day and opened it up the next, there was no noticeable battery drain, and that's with me having many different applications running in the background nearly 24/7. So the many different tasks that I use this computer for vary greatly, but the real reason I actually got it was going to become my main programming workstation. Now, I'm sure we all remember when the M1 was announced, there was a lot of third-party application compatibility issues, and even running them through Rosetta were not really working. Applications like Docker and Homebrew, they just weren't running as smoothly, but you know what, they were resolved fairly quickly. So the main applications I use on this computer nearly 24/7 that are open 24/7 is Visual Studio Code, Docker, MAMF, and Spotify. Then I started using this device for my main YouTube channel, and my second one using it for script writing and video editing. And I was amazed, for a computer that has no dedicated eGPU, this laptop was able to outperform my Asus Zephyrus, which, let me just say for all of you who don't know, has a GTX 1660 Ti 6GB graphics card inside. And this MacBook was able to scrub through the timeline and render the video much quieter, much smoother, much faster, and much cooler than the Asus Zephyrus. In fact, the Asus Zephyrus sounded like a jet engine by the end of the day. And I feel like I have to add this, but the MacBook Pro maintains the same level of performance whether you have it plugged in or if you have not. And I can say this with absolute confidence, there's not many Windows laptops that can do the same. Now, I cannot really talk much about fan noise or heat output because I'm going to be honest with you, 98% of the time I use this computer, it's been sitting on a cooling pad. Now, let me reassure you, it's not for the MacBook. That cooling pad is primarily used for my gaming laptop, but it's just there for convenience. But the 2% that I have actually used this laptop as a proper laptop, I have not noticed the fans really kicking in or the M1 chip heating up. The palm rest stays nice and cool, really. In fact, my hands and my lap heat this laptop up much faster than that M1 chip was ever going to do. So coming from a gaming laptop and moving to a MacBook, of course, imposes some issues, but one of the main issues that I really struggled with was the port selection. Now, I'm a guy who has many peripherals that need to be attached to his device. I got a monitor, mouse, keyboard, and many different things that need to be connected, and to deal with only two little flimsy USB-C ports really imposed a big burden on me. So I had to bite the bullet and get a USB-C dongle. And I actually must say that this USB-C dongle has made life a lot easier. I mean, switching between the two devices is effortless. I just unplug one cable instead of 20. 20 is a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Now, I have heard some rumors that there might be a MacBook Pro 14 with an M1X or M2 that also has more port selections, but don't hold your breath. I mean, best is that Apple will give us 2 more USB-C ports, but don't hope for much, really. I mean, it is Apple. Now, in the time I've actually used this laptop on its own without any monitors, keyboards, or mice has been awesome. The 16:10 display has amazing color accuracy, amazing brightness. The sound quality is absolutely absurd. It's mind-boggling because it's really hard to find Windows laptops that can produce the same. You either get amazing display or amazing sound, and it's hard to find the 2 in 1. The keyboard is great. It is comfortable to type on, but I have to say it is not my favorite. Easily top 5 laptop keyboards. But another reason it's not my favorite is because I'm very used to working on my mechanical keyboard, and typing on here is not really doing it for me. But what I can say I'm very happy to see is that Apple has left the butterfly mechanism Oh, that was atrocious. And they've embraced the scissor mechanism, or what they're calling the magic keyboard. You know, honestly, I've not typed more than 30 minutes on the butterfly mechanism. You may not believe me, but it's true. 30 minutes was all the time I had to really test out the computers at the Apple Store before they asked me if I was going to buy a MacBook. And then when I said no, they kicked me out. But basically, I've gone from this 11-inch MacBook Air to this 13-inch MacBook Pro, and I'm so happy for the skip, and I did not have to suffer like many of you who had the MacBook Pro 15. Touch bar, not a big fan. I sometimes use it, but I actually see it as pointless. But the touchpad, oh, the touchpad is still king. Now, there are some computers that are coming close to it. The Razer Blade 14 and the Dell XPS 9710, just to name two. But there's something about the way Apple makes their touchpads. The precision, the rejection, the feel, the feedback, it's all 11 out of 10. This, I can say with full confidence, is the best touchpad in the world. Now the main question is, should you buy the MacBook Pro? And for about 85 to 90% of you out there, I have to say no. And I know that is very sad to hear, but hear me out. The MacBook Air is basically the same device. The main difference, the main selling point that Apple gives you to get the MacBook Pro is that it's got a fan, which the fan remains off most of the time. Doing certain activities like video editing and rendering for short periods of time makes no difference. Only when you start to doing those taxing activities for 45 minutes, an hour, maybe even 2 hours, that's when the fan kicks in, and that's when this computer really takes off. You get a performance increase by maybe 25, 30 or 35%. But if you really think about it, that performance increase is not as great as you think. Another thing you need to take into consideration is, even though the fan does pose an advantage, which it does, you get more performance, it also poses a disadvantage in the form that this is a moving part, and moving parts always have a chance for failure. Another thing you have to consider as well is pricing. So the MacBook Air retails for $999, while the MacBook Pro, this one here, retails for $1,299. That is a full $300 increase. And if you don't need the horsepower, you can use that $300 to increase the RAM, to increase the storage, put it in the bank for a rainy day, or just buy something that's completely unrelated to your MacBook Pro, to your MacBook. So at the end of the day, if you are considering getting a MacBook Pro, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Are you going to be doing 3D modeling? Are you going to be doing 4K editing? Are you going to be exporting images from Lightroom? If you answer yes to any of those questions, then by all means, get the MacBook Pro, because it is an absolutely fantastic device. It's so fast, it's so efficient. But if you answer no to all three of them, then I want you to not look at the MacBook Pro. I want you to look at the MacBook Air, or, by the way, if you want to save even more money and portability is not a concern for you, go for the Mac Mini. That thing has got a fan, so it has the same performance as the Mac Pro, and it is cheaper. And that is the end of the video, guys, and I'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as to smash that notification bell to be kept informed about my weekly videos. And please comment below which device you're getting. I want you to comment hashtag M1 Pro if you're getting the MacBook Pro, hashtag M1 Air if you're getting the M1 Air, or hashtag M1 Mini if you're getting the M1 Mini. Or if you're waiting for the upcoming WWDC event from Apple. When is that? Is that in September or is that in October? Never mind, hoping that they might deliver you a much better product. Let me know it all in the comments below. So yeah, it's the end of the video, and have a good one.